review. And all I can say is how excited I am to go over Dynamite. You know why? Because my nut's been hurting. And, and I'm a bit stuffed up at the moment, but other than that, let's go over Dynamite. We all started with of course, backstage segments involving Hangman Page and Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. Well, this is kind of a replay over the Young Bucks having an altercation with Hangman Page over costing them their multi-tag team match for a shot for the tag belts. And then just leaving Kenny Omega hanging after their tag defense. Yeah, so sorry, I'm a bit stuffed up at the moment. Wow. So SCU had their championship rematch since Rockin' Wrestling from the cruise ship from weeks ago against Hangman Page and Kenny Omega in a sort of okay match. Average ground game. There was a top gun hello, then I think it was a corkscrew moonsault from Hangman Page. He does a super athletic shit, even though he has this gimmick of what looks to be a brawler with athleticism. It looks cool, but it looks silly at the same time because you don't expect a guy like this to do stuff like that. There was, of course, a time when they were about to do their finish that was supposed to be a V-trigger plus a slingshot. Lariat, it got reversed, it got stopped thanks to Scorpio Sky hooking the legs. I think there was a C4 from Scorpio Sky to Kenny Omega. It was a fast-paced opener for an obvious title retainment because obviously they want to build up to this little defection from the Elite from Hangman Page. But it ended up with the V-trigger and the Lariat connecting over to Kazarian, and as soon as that happens, they retain the tag team belts. Then it just came to everybody coming in. Angelico and Jack Evans, the Lucha Bros, Butcher and Blade, just their tag division that I already think are bland, and the only over group of the tag team of the tag division is just the Young Bucks because they have a YouTube channel and plus the Indies and yada yada. It was a basic thing, just baby faces and heels feuding up for their multi-tag team match that they're having. That's a tag team battle royal for maybe Revolution. It was basic build-up. It was bland build-up. Everything was bland. The only thing that's getting a lot of build-up was pretty much the Cody and MJF match. And Cody's supposed to have a steel cage match with Wardlow on the next Dynamite episode. So we're back on Dynamite. And Dustin Rhodes faces off against Sammy Guevara. These guys faced off, I think, the first episode of Dynamite of the new year. And now here they are having a rematch, but Dustin Rhodes picks up the finish over using his little twisting neck breaker. The clothesline, Jim Ross is going over. Look, best shape of his life. He looks the same shape as he was. I mean, he looks better than his time when he was in TNA. Other than that, it's just basic Dustin Rhodes. Fireman's carrying to some kind of GTS. A Canadian Destroyer from Dustin Rhodes himself. It was a super kick from Sammy Guevara. It was just a basic thing. And it was like, and he then calls Jake Hager his bitch. And the only way why they're feuding, because they don't have much of a card in Revolution, plus the pay-per-view is just in the 29th, so we're just 2 weeks away. And they haven't built up to much, even the tag division. When Pentagon was feuding with Christopher Daniels, and now Christopher Daniels is feuding with Dark Order. So they don't go much into that feud that they had with the Lucha Bros, and now here they are facing off against the Dark Order. And they even did this before when Christopher Daniels is just coming, I'll check on it, the Dark Order, yeah. It was so weird, it was so awkward. And Dustin Rhodes just then, after calling Jake Hager Jericho his bitch, he issued a title match, a one-on-one match against him on Revolution because, of course, what he did to him involving his arm on the limousine on an episode of Dynamite months ago. So obviously, Dustin Rhodes wants blood, I guess. So next up, we had Britt Baker insulting the crowd, calling Tony Schiavone again, cashier, and fucking. It's such basic heel heat. It's not building up too much because she's supposed to be like the runner-up or the next person to face off against Riho at the pay-per-view. I think after the title defense against Riho and Nyla Rose, she'll be facing off against Nyla Rose. Both of them are heels. I don't know how this is gonna work. It's a week of build-up. And then there was a Whataburger chant. It's like references that I do not know because I don't know most of the in-depth history of how Dynamite was made or the history from before that. I guess this was good for at least building up the bitchy, overprivileged character Britt Baker. I just didn't find it that enticing. Thanks, it didn't show as much douchebaggery as MJF did the past couple weeks, or his promo he had on DDP like a week before the Bash at the Beach episode. Next up, the sort of best match of the show, except the two dragon suplexes, a meteor from the top, multiple meteors, and a double stomp from the top, a diving knee over the top. This match had everything. It just didn't tell much of a story other than Nyla Rose is finally having her shot for the women's title. That she won. But she's originally a man. That is kind of weird. Over Riho pinning her before in a triple threat match. Then pinning somebody else when she was in a triple threat match the week before. She had two title defenses on last month. And now here she is losing clean to Nyla Rose. What was this supposed to build up other than the week before? Was she supposed to be? And they even made Tony Schiavone make a reference. I am the table they're in with the IWC. They are so cool. They know everything because they know that it's fake. Shut up! It's weak. It's super weak. It was a weird episode. It was a weird match. Good thing for Nyla Rose. I think it's been a minute since we had a title change for a singles belt. Don't know when they're having a mid-card title. It's WWE. I think NWA Power and Impact have the only reasonable size for belts because of their lackluster roster. Well, except NWA Power, they barely have much people except Ken Anderson, Cole Cabana, and James Storm, and Nick Aldis. Fuck you. We know it's Magnus. And they have 5 championships: a women's, 2 mid cards, 1 world title, and a tag team belt. In AEW's the second biggest the only one of the major televised shows on TV next to SmackDown and Raw that are on USA and Fox. This is on the Turner Network, and they only have 3 belts. And it took this long. It's been I understand they try to build up legitimacy, but we come on with Riho doing these things on a 250 something pounder, and hitting these dragon suplexes from the top, hitting these weak ass running knees from the outside. It's gonna actually sell. It's soft. It feels weird. It just builds up this fake strong style maneuver that Riho is as strong as you think she is, and it just builds it up as being super fake. It's weird, and this is why some people doubt Dynamite's success unless you get real women wrestling for the belt and it looks more legitimate than Riho that looks as lighter as my youngest brother right now, and she can dragon suplex somebody like me. It's unconvincing, and the match was fine. I just feel like it wasn't as better as MJF when he faced off against Jungle Boy that ended up with Wardlow taking his diamond ring and then taking off the diamond ring, then bringing it back in a secure time when Jungle Boy was taking the upper hand and then attack him with the ring, and then the 1, 2, 3. The match was fine, like good showmanship wrestling. Both these guys were highly entertaining. Shoulder tackle, roll up, kip up, shoulder tackle, tornado DDT. Like this match was really fun to watch, and this was supposed to build up like the showman effort. It was an Alabama slam that turned into a roll up pin. Like really like flashy moves, but this had no rhyme or reason to exist other than to make MJF feel like just a heelish douchebag wrestler. But you're facing off against a guy that's undersized, but they're trying to build up Jungle Boy as this big threat in the Dynamite in the All Elite Wrestling roster because he went to time limit with Chris Jericho when he had him 1-on-1. So I find this kind of weird. The match was good. It just had a faulty finish that I thought could have been better. Next up, Santana, in an eye for an eye, where there was an eyewitness. Before the match, it was obviously Santana going over. It was a great promo that he had with Jim Ross, interviewing him, going over his struggles, seeing how it was. Well, he suffered from temporary blindness. His father was suffering. It was just a great promo. Look it up. It actually convinced like how much Santana has like had some tough times growing up. Then there was also a promo involving Chris Jericho introducing Jeff Cobb into the AEW roster after his match that pretty good. Still ended up with a double hook DDT. Going over the cells with the eye, elbow strikes, just trying to make sure there's a temporary blindness on Moxley. Like these guys who were trying to kill each other, they even started off the bat missile drop kick. Santana was playing no games. He really wanted to kick the shit out of Moxley for making him blind from something he didn't even do. It was Jericho who stabbed him in the eye, and yet Santana was doing this like he had a mission on him. Sadly, he lost, and that looks like for the last week before Revolution, he'll be facing off against probably just Jeff Cobb in a match. And then maybe before the final week of the show, they'll be doing like a promo. It was pretty cool to see Jeff Cobb because if you haven't seen him on the Indies, New Japan, Ring of Honor, the guy can lift nearly anybody up and do these badass matches where it looks like he can just power lift anybody. The match with Moxley and Santana was good. I liked MJF and Jungle Boy's match. Raiho and Nyla Rose had a fine match. It even showed like nobody's respecting me. Where's my bit of the bubbly? Where's my respect? You're a dude in drag. Kenny Omega silently says in the backstage. Oh God, that sounds disrespectful as fuck, but you know I'm right. Oh boy, this was just an okay show. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Dynamite has some growing pains to do. They have to introduce a mid-card championship. They should make a tournament. Do something. There has to be something like Kip Sabian, Joey Jelena, MJF, probably DDP, Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager. Like you guys can make these feuds, but you got to do something for some of the guys who are not going to obviously be hitting up to that main event level soon. Like you guys have a ranking system, and that perfectly is fine for any like make a middleweight championship, make something, make it where everybody feels like they have an opportunity, and I feel like AEW is missing that. But this was a fine episode. There was 3 good matches on the show, a fun promo, a decent promo by Britt Baker, a good match, but I thought it was too repetitive and it was pretty over dramatic and had a lot of no sells in the women's title match. And the main event was fine. Yeah, there's some growing pains. There's going to be a lot to be excited for the next week of Dynamite, but Other than that, fine show. I just thought it could be better, and maybe I'll give it an above average score on the next episode of Dynamite. That's all coming from me. Hopefully you guys like the review. That's it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join the DST Nation. That's it. That's all. Goodbye. Don't unsubscribe.
Why, Triple H? You son of a bitch! Why? You like that? You like that?